After 3 days of emotional debate and citizen testimony, Cincinnati City Council voted last week to delay construction on the controversial streetcar project while an independent audit is performed. The audit will look at the city administration's estimates on how much it will cost to kill the project. Mayor John Cranley and members of the anti-streetcar majority declined to consider offers from the Hale U.S. Bank Foundation and an unnamed individual to pay for both the study and daily construction costs while a study of the price to cancel is conducted. Instead, the city could incur costs between $2.6 million to $3.6 million per month to pause the project. That, according to a memo signed by the acting city manager Scott Stiles and written by project executive John Dietrich.
It's so frustrating because it just seems no amount of reason or effort or anything is going to help this project continue.
And I just think I need an independent analysis of what are the true costs. And I really just feel like I can't make a decision without those facts.
To say this past week has been emotional and confusing is certainly an understatement. Business Courier reporter Chris Wetterick was at City Hall through it all. He joins Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer in our studios with one reporter's perspective on what happened, where we are, and what's next. Chris and Rob?
Thanks, Brian, and Chris, thanks for being here. It has been a kind of exciting week, I guess, for any journalist it would be, and you've been in the thick of it. We've been wondering for the last couple months if this day was going to come, if Cranley became mayor. So this is a delay, but is the streetcar dead?
It's certainly on life support, Rob. I mean, I don't think anybody really would have expected this to happen maybe 6 months ago, but you know, it definitely has. There's one man who's probably going to decide whether this thing goes forward. His name is David Mann. He's the vice mayor, chosen by John Cranley to be the vice mayor. He has said two very interesting things. One is that, you know, like the others, he wants an independent analysis of these numbers. They're not buying the analysis by John Dietrich, the project executive on this streetcar project. And the other thing David Mann has said is that if the costs come back, as Dietrich has said, where it's similar to cancel, costs as much to cancel as it does to continue, then he'll vote to continue it. That's a very interesting statement, and I think at this point we'll just have to see what the cost estimate is from the independent firms that are going to do this. The one wrinkle, though, is that the feds could pull the plug on it. They could say, we're tired of messing around with you guys, you know, we're going to take our money back.
And they have threatened to do that, so that's a big question mark. Now, why would Cranley and the anti-streetcar faction on City Council look at the numbers that say it's essentially a wash, keeping the project rolling and pausing it or shutting it down? Why would they look at those numbers and say, don't believe them?
You know, I think more than anything, it's just what they kind of want to believe. They don't want to believe that this project is so far along that it's a waste of money to cancel it. Another thing that, you know, Cranley and, you know, Councilman Chris Smitherman, they look at the numbers a little bit differently than the people who are for the streetcar. They look into the future and they see, you know, phase 2, phase 3 costing hundreds of millions of dollars more. I'm not sure that's a fair way to look at it. Cranley was never going to build phase 2 or phase 3, so right. He's kind of set up a straw man there for some people, but that's how he looks at it, and that's, I think, you know, I think that's going to determine, you know, the project's future.
So you don't think there's any give on Cranley's part? You don't, no. You don't think he's going to suddenly look at the numbers and say, you know what, I've changed my mind?
Yeah, I don't think he cares. I think he's ready to be done with the project.
Yeah, okay, well, stay tuned. There's a whole lot more coming on this. And Brian, back to you.
Chris, really interesting perspective. Thank you, and Rob.